The rise of cryptocurrency has been one of the most remarkable developments in the history of society and money. Cryptocurrency has been on the rise since its introduction in 2008 with Bitcoin, and now there are more than 17,000 cryptocurrencies in existence, with more being added daily. We're going to take you from beginner crypto user to expert, explaining what cryptocurrency is, why it's important, and some of the risks involved. When society was in its early stages, there was no such thing as money. For one thing, to buy anything from someone, you have to go up to them and offer to trade something else, like your chicken for their cow. But the flaw in the system is that you're still comfortable giving up your shoes but might not want to part with your shirt, so the trade can't happen, and currency solved this problem. In stage 2, because coins were made of rare materials like gold and silver, it became normal for them to be considered worth something. For trade, it doesn't matter whether you like my chicken or not, so long as I have the money to buy your cow. Even if you don't use it at all because it's expensive, you still have the satisfaction of knowing that you can take it and trade it for something you really want. The convenience. Do you agree? Now in stage 3, as banks became an established fixture in the government's power, we discovered that people trust its system. It would be better to give up on carrying blocks of metal money and instead settle for paper money, which is even more convenient. Of course, money isn't valuable anymore because it's made of paper instead of silver. It only has value because the government and the people say so. Since we found even more convenient ways of storing and trading our stuff, our process has now advanced to stage 4, wherein more people than ever are buying things online and using credit cards. When you reach this stage, you don't even see the money anymore. Coins and bills don't matter, it's just numbered on a spreadsheet. Stage 5. The only reason to think about a cryptocurrency is that it's completely virtual. Despite its resemblance to a coin, Bitcoin doesn't work like one. Bitcoin has no gold, no silver, and no paper bills. It's just the exchange of digital assets. The fundamental notion is the same. Consider them to be nothing more than spreadsheets that tracks who get paid what and when. Crypto, on the other hand, eliminates the need for numerous banks to have their own independent records. Every transaction using that currency is recorded in a single massive spreadsheet known as a ledger. Everyone is in the same boat. It makes no difference who you are or where you're from. Regardless of your socio-economic background, anyone can take part as it doesn't ask how much money you have. People seem to have such a good opinion of it. So maybe you're wondering, so why is everyone going crazy about cryptocurrencies? Well, there are some advantages to this type of currency system. But before we go any further with this video, I'll give you some time to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you're liking the video so far. First of all, cryptocurrency is decentralized, which means that every single transaction is recorded on the same ledger. There are many copies of the ledger in question, and anybody who is a part of the network should have a copy. It may be a popular term to you called cryptocurrency mining or Bitcoin mining. Basically, this is just someone who set up a computer to quickly go through rows of transactions on their own copy of this ledger or spreadsheet. There are already millions of Bitcoin miners in the world. There are lots of types of cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin, for different reasons. If you dedicate your computer's power to mining Bitcoin, you'll be compensated with some Bitcoin. That's the point of Bitcoin, which means if you were to go into a store and spend 5 Bitcoins, instead of just checking one's bank records, the store would actually check every single computer on this network to see if you have enough. As a result, you end up with so many copies of the same ledger, so it becomes quite easy to see if someone's been messing around. 2. This time you guessed it right. The main perks of crypto is that you don't need banks anymore. Everything is on the public ledger. This option lets you send and receive payments immediately instead of having to wait half a day. No spending limits are required, and the rate never changes. You don't need to concern yourself with interest rates, and some cryptocurrency trading platforms don't charge a commission, which is nice. But the real action starts here. Cryptocurrencies are called so because they're protected by cryptography, and Bitcoin is an example of that. Many people get confused about blockchain. It is not the same as Bitcoin. Blockchain is not a currency. A blockchain is just a more secure kind of ledger. Do you know that big spreadsheet that records transactions? All it really means is that you record all the transactions in a single area. So anytime I make a Bitcoin purchase, that's added to the blockchain. Each block contains information about who paid how much, as well as a code, which is a unique identifier and the hash of the previous block in the sequence. It also includes a pivot, which the system relies on. If something in a block is changed, the block's hash will change. Each block contains data from the previous block. When the hash of this block changes, the previous block will no longer have a matching hash. It follows then that all subsequent blocks will be invalid as well. Let's talk about the not-so-perfect things about cryptocurrencies. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but hopefully you can see why some people are excited about them. That brings me to investments. Cryptocurrencies, I'm sure you've heard of people investing in them. The currency these people are using is their conventional currency, dollars. The cryptocurrencies they hope will rise in value, so they can either buy more of them or just convert them back to dollars at a higher rate. There's a term for cryptocurrencies that skyrocket like this or going to the moon, but here's the risk. Crypto lacks stability. This thing is called the dark side. First, many people don't take cryptocurrencies seriously because of their volatility, but this volatility will be only temporary, as digital currencies are new, unlike say the gold market. We don't know what they should be worth. This leaves cryptocurrency values up to speculation. Second, cryptocurrency is not commonly accepted as a means of payment. Actually, a lot of organizations, including companies such as Microsoft, Tesla, and Burger King, have claimed to be accepting Bitcoin, only to take it back at a later date. Third, crypto is something to think about in terms of the environment. A big part of the reason why many cryptocurrencies are so secure is due to their reliance on transactions being verified by many computers. So I think it's valid to question that alone creates an inherent inefficiency. So much computing power demands a lot of electricity. But it's worth it because traditional banking consumes even more. And newer cryptocurrencies with better technology that use less electricity are starting to gain in popularity. We might eventually be able to get all of our electricity from renewable sources. Fourth, there's also a fairly intense sentiment about it because there's no strict oversight or regulation on crypto right now. It's like the perfect currency for criminals. According to the Chain Analysis report, only over 0.34% of cryptocurrency transactions are criminal, compared to the 5% of cash transactions. I think this is because the misconception that Bitcoin is anonymous leads to misuse. This means that though your details won't be visible to everyone, your public key and your unique identifier will be baked into the blockchain with your first transaction. Because it can't be traced and you can defend it by saying you got it from honest work. Cash is a better currency for criminal activities than cryptocurrencies. Here's another fun fact. You may have heard of Dogecoin. Dogecoin is built on the same technology as Litecoin, but its creation was for the sake of humor. But because the people who shared it and invested money in it found it amusing, it's come to the point where millionaires have been created just from owning Dogecoin from when it was sold cheaply. The world is truly full of surprises. If you think this video is useful, please click on the thumbs up and subscribe button to be updated on new crypto-related information.